here, especially promoting such a great show involving some of the, some great fighters, double world champions, treble world champions. This is a fighting card. If you want to see some serious boxing on Saturday night, being in Belfast, watching it live, or watching it on BT Sport, or watching it on Box Nation, there is no comparison anywhere else. This is what boxing's all about, the best fighting the best. And we've got the best here. And as I say, it's a privilege and a pleasure to be here. Putting that show on with such a knowledgeable boxing audience as the Belfast public. They love their boxing, they appreciate it, appreciate their fighters and appreciate the opposition. And as I say, we're looking forward to Saturday.
These are two fights, Frank, world title fights, Tete and Narvaez, and of course Carl and Donaire. They are absolutely elite level fights. They are.
Carl's 2017 Ring Fighter of the Year. But Nonito Donaire, whose record speaks for itself, a three-time world champion, has been voted Fighter of the Year in the past. It's a crossroads fight in some ways for both of them. It's a fight where both guys know what they want. It's for the interim title. Winning the interim title gets you in a position where you fight Valdez for the title, so it's important. It's important by getting in that position that if the fight goes to purse offers, that we have a bigger percentage to play with in the purse bids. Carl comes through. This is a tough fight. This is a great fight, and it's an intriguing fight. I know Nonito's. We've had the reports back how hard he's been training for this fight. He's a thorough professional. As he said we did a press call yesterday. He's been boxing since the age of 11. So he's boxing through and through, the same as Carl. Look at Carl, I've never seen him look so good. I'll tell you something, that's a little whistle he's got on there. He looks the business. He looks great. Not only is he in great condition, I believe he's in a great frame of mind. What he did last time out, I thought was quite a thing for him to pick the opponent that he picks. He picked him, he wasn't looking for a soft touch. There was a lot of things going on in the background and a lot of pressure on him, but he did what he had to do. He showed what a champion's heart he has and champion's desire. And this time going into it, which I'm sure he'll tell you himself, he's 100% focused, 100% on this, as is Nonito, so we're going to get something special. And as for Zolani Tete, well, he's back in Belfast. He's fought more times in Belfast this year than Ryan Burnett. He's here. He's making a statement. He's fighting a three-time world champion from Argentina, Omar Andres Navarez. Again, it has fight written all over it. We're going to enjoy this one. And I know Zelene is looking to make a statement. So, I think we're going to get, again, a special fight there. And we've got two fights amongst many others on the undercard. Conrad Kellings and Luke Keeler. Great Irish derby. This again is a fantastic fight. And then we've got the local derby, the two Belfast guys, Tyrone McKenna and Anthony Upton. What a great derby that is between these two guys. So we've got a real card here that for the connoisseurs, they're going to have a night out that they won't forget.
We'll hear from some of the guys in front in a moment, but before then, representing NTK Boxing, of course, hardly needs introducing to a knowledgeable Belfast crowd, Jamie Conlon, who's here. Jamie, from a Belfast perspective, just put it into words how exciting this is for this city.
I think it's the best fight ever in Belfast, ever in Ireland. Carl Frampton is probably the greatest fighter Ireland's ever produced against a legitimate Hall of Famer in Nonito Donaire. The last time I was actually sitting at a table with a hot quality Filipino. I got knocked out in 6 rounds, so I'm a bit scared here. He's one of my fan favourites in growing up against Fernando Montiel, Victor Chinian. So it's fantastic to see a friend like Carl go up against him and pit himself against the best in the world. As the lads were saying there about the undercard, Tyrone McKenna and Anthony Upton for me is a fantastic local derby. It's something that's been talked about for a while. It's been building and brewing. It's proper West Belfast derby, and it's something that it has the people talking. I've been in cafe during the week having a coffee, and random people come up talking about it. It's something that's exciting. Luke Keeler and Conrad Cummins in a hot Irish middleweight division, which is always like battling out to see who's the best. Luke and Jason Quigley and Alfredo Mealy all battling to see who's the best. This one will put the one who's on the top now. But I'm excited for everyone. As a fan, I'm excited. As part of MTK, I'm very excited.
And Jamie, you've been around the town. I mean, you've got so many friends around Belfast, and you know all the boxing clubs, all the fighters. What's the buzz been like this week as this one approaches?
As I was saying there, in the cafe 3 days ago, people are talking to me not about Carl Frampton and Nonito Donaire, they're talking to me about Anthony Upton and Tyrone McKenna. So people will be in from start to finish. It's very exciting. You know, my dad speaks very highly of Nonito Donaire, so me and him have been very back and forth about Frampton Donaire, how we think seeing it going. So it's even in my own house, it's a fantastic, intriguing fight, and it's something that I'm excited to sit down, sit ringside, and sit to watch.
Well, first of all, let's hear from the lads who are involved in the West Belfast Derby, as you refer to it, which is Tyrone McKenna, another one snappily turned out, against Anthony Upton down here to my left. First of all, Anthony, tell us what your thoughts are about this fight. It's one you've been waiting for a long time.
Yeah, it's been building up. Tyrone's been doing his own thing. I was away doing my own thing. I've now moved back. He's been doing really well. I've been watching him on the undercards of all these big shows, and I'm looking to make a statement. So I've got to go out and just put on a nice performance, and above all, enjoy myself.
Do you think your style, you know, you're a boxer rather than just a come-forward slugger. Do you think that is going to be difficult for Tyrone?
We'll see on the night. We'll go out in the first round and see how it all pans out. Tyrone is a boxer himself. He likes having a war. If it comes to it, then we'll both be in the middle of the ring battling it out. May the best man win.
How do you sort out a guy who's as tall as he is?
You'll see.
Tyrone, tell us about your thoughts on this fight coming up, because as we say, and as Jamie said, you know, it's been sort of brewing and bubbling for a long time.
Yeah, well, it's been brewing for the last couple of years, but after the camp I've had, I'm not really worried coming into Saturday's fight. Not because Anthony Upton's a bad fighter or anything, he's a great fighter, but I put everything in the camp. I leave the worrying to people that haven't had good camps, haven't put the work in. I've been training for 12 weeks now with Danny Vaughan. Brought in the best sparring partners, Tyrone Nurse, Sam Maxwell, Nathan Bennett. So all the work's done. I know I'm 100% going into this fight, and I believe that I'm going to win on Saturday night. I believe that Anthony Upton is just an obstacle that I'm either going to jump over or smash through, but on Sunday there's only going to be one thing, that I'm still going to be undefeated.
I know you're aware of this pride of Belfast sort of feeling which is out there.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to it. You know, with the couple of fights I had against Dublin fellas, there's always that pride. Belfast v Dublin's kind of similar, only it's closer to home now. But yeah, I'm used to that kind of pressure and that build-up, so it's nothing different in this fight.
Could this be your hardest night?
Well, yeah, certainly could. I mean, Anthony Upton's a good fighter. He's a good boxer. I believe probably is the best opponent that I've fought to date. So it could be a hard night, but if everything goes to plan and I execute the plan that Danny Vaughan has put, then it shouldn't be a hard fight. It should be an easy fight.
Now another fight that we're looking forward to, Conrad Cummins, WBO European middleweight title fight against Luke Keeler. Luke from Dublin, two fighters who again know each other extremely well. Conrad only beaten the once, 13 wins against that. Luke with 13 wins against 2 defeats. And let's start with Luke, because I know you've said in the run-up to this that this is so vital to you. I mean, this is one where you've got to go for broke.
Yeah, going for broke in terms of, like, I've worked full-time before and I've given my job up since Christmas, and it's a cliche, everyone says they've the best camp, but I really have just gone for broke and given it everything, and I'm going to give me career best performance on the night and just push on from that. And I appreciate him putting the belt up for grabs, you know. He could have went an easier way, but I'm just going to get in, put that show on and push on.
Luke, you talk about giving your job up. Is that sort of a case of you've reached the stage in your career, what are you now, 30, 31? You've got to the stage where you sort of want to kick on and not look back and say, what if?
Yeah, it's like I didn't want to have any regrets. It's basically all or nothing now, and I didn't want to look back with regret. So previously I was working full time, and you can't. It's all or nothing with boxing, and I've done it right this time, and like the pressure's off nearly because of that. So just happy to go in and show that now.
And what about Conrad? I mean, you know him well.
Yeah, like, he's a good fighter. Like there's no doubt about it. Like he's probably one of the best I come up against, but I know on the night, like I'll show new levels with the full camp, with the full training camp, and I'm just looking forward to getting that step, taking the belt, and pushing on.
Conrad, how tough could this guy turn out to be? A man who is prepared to go for broke and is going to give everything.
I believe the fight will be as tough as I make it. Respect Luke as a person, not a fighter. But I know the level I'm going to go on to now. This is sort of my breakout fight now. Big one for me. I've prepared extremely well. I headlined the Devonish in February, and I'll just continue to camp on. I was out in Tenerife with the lads, altitude training, sparring, doing all the right conditioning. I'm feeling in a great place. I'm a new trainer now with Jimmy Muir, and I really feel he's getting the best out of me, mentally and physically. And you're going to see it the weekend. I'm in a good place. I feel very happy. I'm excited to get over to Manchester on a Monday, and it's really bringing the best out of me. It's a good fight. It's a very exciting fight for the people who are watching. But it's only one winner. Bring it on.
What about working with Jamie? Because I guess there's similarities in your style with him. Does he fit well with you?
Oh, absolutely. We've worked out my best shots already, and the wee moves. But yeah, we're just very compatible. Jimmy was a light middle, flash middle, same weight, same sort of style, all action, pressure. So yeah, he's really, he just relaxed me down and he's got the best out of me. Sometimes I put pressure on myself, and pressure's retired. I don't need that. So I'm in a good place. I'm feeling very sharp, very relaxed, and but dangerous too. We're on Saturday.
Well, that's two great Irish fights on the undercard, and many more as well. But that's Tyrone McKenna against Anthony Upton and Conrad Cummings against Luke Keeler. But as well as that, our principal support comes Saturday night. Zolani Tete against Omar Andres Narvaez, Argentinian, who's now let me get the stats right here. He's in his 32nd world title fight. He's won 29 of 31. And if you look at the history of the sport, there's only Julio Cesar Chavez, who had 37, and Bernard Hopkins, who had 33, who've had more world title fights than this guy. So he's got a phenomenal record. He's been at the top of his sport for, well, the better part of 2 decades. He's been a world champion at flyweight and at super flyweight, only ever been stopped once. But Zolani Tete, last time he was in the ring, what was it, 11 seconds?
Guinness Book of Records.
Guinness Book of Records, quickest world title fight knockout of all time. Zolani, welcome back once again, and Ireland looking forward to seeing you in action. Are we going to be seeing the fireworks again?
Firstly, thank you very much for having me in the show. I'm fighting a good fighter, well experienced, so it's definitely going to be a good fight. Everyone must not blink. You must always sit and watch. There's going to be fireworks.
You want to make a bit of a statement once again. Frank said that was kind of the case. Do you feel that that's something you want to do, to show to people like Ryan Burnett, to Jamie McDonald, to maybe even to Guillermo Rigondeaux, potential future opponents, that you're the man?
Those are the fights we're looking at. Ryan Burnett. I believe he's going to come and watch the fight. It's his chance to come and see how I fight. I'm looking forward to the fight. I can't wait for Saturday.
How would you like to get into the ring? I mean, okay, maybe we shouldn't look immediately too far past Omar, but how much would you like to actually face off against Ryan Burnett?
I would love to have the fight, even if they would say it's my next fight after this one. I would grab it with both hands. I believe the fight needs to happen before the end of the year. There should be one king in the bantamweight. I believe there's two at the moment, so one needs to be eliminated.
Omar's speaking with an interpreter here today, but first of all, could you ask him what he thought of Zelane's last performance?
¿Qué piensa del próximo domingo, el sábado? ¿Qué piensa que va a ganar?
¿A mí? Buenos días a todos. Primero, saludar y decirle que estoy contento de estar aquí en Belfast participando de esta velada importante. Me preparé desde que perdí el título mundial Super Mosca, me propuse llegar a esta chance mundialista y fue el único incentivo que me mantuvo en pie para seguir en esta carrera, buscar el título mundial gallo. Me preparé, me propuse estar en los primeros lugares, lo logré, gané la eliminatoria y estoy preparado para subir a ganar el día sábado frente a Solani TT.
My Spanish is rubbish. Can you give us the highlights out of that, please? I got the Belfast bit.
Yeah.
To the translator, please. Can you tell us what he said there?
I'm going to translate to the translator.
No,
Can you tell him?
He say he's happy to be in Belfast and he's thinking to have a good fight with his friend there, and he think he will win.
Pull the microphone. That's all right.
He's been around a long time, Omar. As I say, his 32nd world title fight. How confident is he that he can produce the upset? We'll try this one.
Y dice que tienes muchos años de experiencia y ahora qué pensás para este sábado.
La verdad que estos años de experiencias me pueden servir mucho para implementar y hacer y lograr una buena pelea arriba del ring, porque tengo mucha experiencia mundialista, muchas peleas mundialistas, y físicamente y psicológicamente me siento muy bien preparado para llegar a este desafío importante para mí de lograr esta tercera corona mundial.
Well, he has too much experience and he's prepared very well for this game, and he think he's the winner. He will be the winner.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. Nonito Donaire sitting by my side. He's a Spanish speaker. We perhaps should have got him involved in the conversation as well. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. And it's one we're looking forward to. Zelani was in fantastic
Can we keep it
form.
down at the back, please? We're trying to have a press conference here. Thank you.
Right, so we'll turn our attention now to the main event. We've got the trainers here as well as the two fighters. Jamie Moore up at my far right-hand side, and Mike Basil here, who's the head trainer for Nonito Donaire. Let's start with Mike. Nonito's been there, done it. He's been around such a long time. I mean, he's a future Hall of Fame fighter. Everybody who follows boxing knows the name. How close to his best, if he was Ring Fighter of the Year in 2012, how close to his best is he now coming into this in 2018?
I think it's more of the experience. And it's more of the experience of being on top for so long. You know, you don't go on top like this. There's little valleys, there's little, drops, things like that. And I think what happened with Nonito is there's a maturity. When most fighters are starting to do at this time, they start the physical decline. They know what they're doing, but the body starts to, betray them. His body is starting to come into form now. So he's more physically peaking, and he's also mentally there because of all the experience that he has. And yeah, he's a five-division world champion, 5 different divisions. He's been to this featherweight division before as a world champion, and I feel like it's a great weight for him because he is more physically mature now.
Jamie, let's bring you in from the other side of the perspective. How's things gone in your build-up this time? Because last time, I guess it was a new experience. You'd only been working with Carl for a limited period. This time, you've had a proper training camp.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rushed one last time. It wasn't bad, but we could have done. We spoke afterwards and analysed sort of the performance in the training camp, and we could have done with a couple of weeks extra. And the first run out was always the sort of trial run. But we've done, we sat down, we discussed how we felt we needed to move it forward, and we've took on a few different changes. We've done altitude training in Tenerife, and we've gone with a little bit more of a scientific approach. I'm a little bit old school in some sense, but I'm also very much in the school of thought that modern day techniques and sort of knowing what you're doing is much better than guesswork. And we certainly know that Carl's in fantastic shape. He's done a lot of testing. He's gradually built up his fitness. The altitude work's been brilliant, and the Institute of Performance and Health in Manchester, they've helped us out brilliantly. The full team down there, and it's like chalk and cheese. This camp compared to last time, even though the last camp wasn't bad, this one's by far so much better. There's been a lot of fighters training at the same time. I've got 10 pro fighters now in the gym, and I've got 4 fighters on the same night, on Saturday night. So they've all been allowed to train with each other, along each other, and that's pushed Carl on. He's, as I say, he's in much better condition. Is that my mum? He's in much better condition than last time, and mentally he's in a great place.
How much has the fear factor helped, if you like? Because I know he's sitting right next to me, so I've got to say nice things. But I mean, his left hook is one of the big punches of boxing, isn't it? I mean, the reputation goes before him.
Of course it is, and if we didn't show that sort of respect to Nonito, then we'd be foolish. But I could sense, when the fight got mentioned to Carl, I could sense that sort of, the butterfly feeling when you know you're going to be up against it. And that's the sort of fight it is. That's the reason it's such a good fight, is because style-wise they're going to blend together. You know what you're going to get, and, my job as Carl's trainer is to sort of nullify Nonito's strengths and make him avoid putting himself in those dangerous positions. So, he's got to go out there and do it now, but he's going to have to ride some storms. He knows that. He's under no illusions. It's going to be a tough fight, but he's put himself in the best possible shape to come out on top and victorious.
Frank, before we hear from the two lads, I mean, it's been lovely in the build-up to this, and continuing again here this morning, the fantastic respect between two elite-level fighters. There's none of the bull that you get on occasion.
You don't need it, do you? The fight sells itself, and as they're two class acts. They're class world champions. They have been class world champions, and they both know where they want to be. This is it. This is what it's all about. This, for these two guys, as I say, it's all about respect. It's about coming through to the next level. It's about grabbing that title back, and this is what they are. They are absolute perfect adverts for boxing.
As a young fighter, I know that Nonito was somebody who Carl looked up to, and we'll hear a bit more of that in a moment. But first of all, Nonito, how's the preparation been going? You got back into Belfast at the weekend. At least it's a bit warmer than back in January.
A bit warmer, a wee bit warmer, but it's still pretty cold for me. But it's just been amazing so far. As the last time. Everyone has been just fantastic. Belfast has been a great experience, just overall. The people here have been really warm to us, and we've just had, my whole team actually have been having a great time just being here. So that's a good start of the week for us.
I asked Mike how he thought you'd been looking and about how you were mentally. Tell us how you feel as you now come very, very close to What is a vital fight for you?
I think that I'm gifted with great genes. My physical body has been, I guess I'm a late groomer, is what I'm saying. You know, I feel like I'm starting to get the peak of myself, but because of my mentality, and I think that's the biggest factor. Our physical can only be as good as our mind is, and inside that ring. And I think that me and Basil have come to the point that the strength of mental fortitude has allowed us to be in this level and be confident to be here in Belfast and fight one of the best fighters in the world.
You obviously have to be right at your best if you're going to win this. Can you be the fighter that you were in 2012? Are you as good now as you were then?
I think I'm smarter now. I think that I've learned with the ups and downs of my career in the past couple of years. I've learned to know where I am exactly and what I'm capable of and where my mind is. And we're very confident going to this fight.
You've studied him, and you studied his last performance. You studied all the performances in the run-up to that. What do you think the key factors are?
The key factor is I feel like, well, my wife and I, we feel like we're married to Carl because we wake up, we see Carl. We sleep, we see Carl. Everything we see Carl. So that's pretty much what it's all about. And I got to say, you know, Carl's an amazing fighter. Just seeing through all the fights, just seeing how his tendencies are. You know, and just got to give it to the guy. He just taking this fight. I mean, for a long time, I was the boogeyman in boxing, you know, and he has chosen this fight because it inspires him, and I came here in Belfast because it inspires me. So this is going to be a fight that's incredible, and to give it up to him as well, a great gentleman.
It may be a boxing cliche, but at this stage, do you feel that your career is on the line come Saturday night? Is it as important as that?
Well, mistakes are always coming into our lives, and I feel that we can always grow from them. But coming in from in the ring with Carl, there's really no shame in it. You know, one of the best fighters out there. For me, I have my outcome, and that's what I believe in.
Nonito, thank you very much for that. We'll
Thank
maybe
you.
have some more questions in a moment from the floor. But let's bring Carl in now. You've waited a while. Your audience, your city.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this one massively, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this fight, and I have been since it was talked about. You know, to have a guy like Nonito Donaire come to Belfast to fight me, almost feel like a bit of an honour, really. You know, I'm lucky that it's happening here in Belfast as well, and I'm not having to travel. So a credit to Frank and MTK and BT for bringing him here. But it's a quality fight, and I think Luke Keeler mentioned it earlier. It is a cliche when people talk about how good their camp has been, and they always kind of are just on autopilot talking about I've had the best camp ever. But I genuinely believe that the camp that I've had, it's been the best camp because it's been the smartest camp, and I've had a completely new approach to training, and all the boxes have been ticked. Don't remember having a bad day in training once, or a bad day in sparring. And I just feel like everything's coming together, and I'm ready to put on a big performance in front of my home crowd.
When you were making your way as an amateur, this guy was already a world champion. I mean, he must have been somebody who, as a young fighter, you really looked at and had huge respect for.
Of course, and I still do. You know, I had a load of respect for Donaire back then, and I still do. A quality fighter, and in terms of accolades, he's accomplished more than anyone else that I've ever fought. You know, again, a future Hall of Famer. Hopefully I can put myself in that bracket one day where people talk about me as a potential Hall of Famer. So he is the best fighter that I will have ever fought, and that includes Leo Santa Cruz and Quigg and everyone else that I've fought. Nonito Donaire has accomplished more than anyone, and it's going to be a big thing for me to get the result here on Saturday night, and that's why I've trained like I have done.
He's obviously talking confidently as he has to. That left hook that we talked about earlier on and that Jamie referred to, and I sort of said, is it the fear factor? I mean, do you feel that?
Yeah, look, see, I think it's been a bit disrespectful just talking about his left hook. I don't think Nonito, a left hook takes someone to become a Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year or a 5-time world champion. It's a lot more than a left hook. He's a brilliant slip right hand, which he throws well, and he throws a left hook after it as well. So I know a lot about Nonito Donaire, but to say that it's all left hook, I think would be disrespectful. He's a quality fighter, and he can do a bit of everything. So I'll need to be ready for different things that will arise in the fight and different situations, and I feel like we've covered all bases in camp. I haven't been training. I haven't been in a training camp just thinking about a left hook. I've been thinking about him as a whole package.
You kind of have to expect, though, that this is going to be a hard fight, a tough fight, a very tough fight, because you would want for the easiest fight possible, I guess, but against somebody of this sort of pedigree, as Jamie was saying, it's likely to be one which is like that.
Well, some people want the easiest fights possible. That's not me, and I don't think that's Nonito either. I want to be involved in fights that people talk about and people are interested in, and I want fights. This is a fight that puts the winner in a position to fight Oscar Valdez and become a world champion again. I want to be, when I'm in that position to fight for a world title, fights like this are preparing me to go and win it. Not fighting guys that are knockover jobs that are just going to beat up and win easy. There's no point in that. I'm experienced enough to know that I need to be involved in fights that get me excited and get me nervous, and I think that's when you're going to see the best performances from me.
Valdez broke his jaw, of course, against Scott Quigg, so he's not going to be in the ring in the immediate future. So is the Lee Selby Josh Warrington still a goer here, Frank?
Well, it could be, but it depends what happens on Saturday, and it depends what happens in that fight. But the bottom line is, until we know where we are, with the result of Saturday, as far as Carl's concerned, then we will press for Valdez. I'm hearing he may even go up in weight. That may be a rumour, I'm not sure. But the fact of the matter is, the interim champion, he will have to defend against very quickly.
It's got all the makings Saturday. I just think this is, obviously there's another fight going on Saturday night. But
is there?
I would say this is by a country mile the real fight.
Only a country mile. I think it's a bit more than that. This is a proper show. This is a real show. This is not Celebrity Get Me Out of Here or whatever it's called, the Jungle Juice. This is the real deal. You want real fights? Be in Belfast. That's where they're happening. That's where it's happening. Solid all the way through. Solid card all the way through. Be there.
Okay, let's have some questions from the floor. All the guys are here, including the undercard. So shout up if you've got something to say to them. Now's the time. Yes.
It hasn't been hard at all, and I'm just focused on the camp, and that's all I'm going to say on that matter.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I was asked to do it, and I was asked to do Big Brother as well, and I turned them both down, only because I'm a boxer, and I'm still boxing, but maybe after a few years' time, if you ask me again, I might change my mind.
Did he? Frank got asked, apparently.
I told him, I said, my ideal of Bush Tucker trial is eating in Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, so you leave me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been okay because of the approach I've had in training. I've got a nutritionist on board for the first time ever. It's always kind of been done by myself and the previous team, the nutrition. So we've got a good nutritionist involved, got a good S&C coach. Haven't been afraid of the scales, which I have been in the past. I've kind of always looked in the mirror and told myself a weight that I think I am, rather than actually getting on the scale. So I've done it right, and it's just I feel like now I'm training like a professional athlete, and I need to be training like that. It's never too late to make changes, and I think they're all for the better. But it's been like, it's never easy for anyone to make weight, but it's been easier. No, I feel good. And just a different approach, and I feel excited. I don't feel cranky or anything. Maybe different on Thursday night or Friday morning, but at this point in time, I'm okay. When he was talking there, I was thinking about that, and just thinking, like, this is the one where in 30 years' time, when you're sitting wherever you are, the people will talk about it, and people will say, I was there the night that you fought and beat Nonito Donaire, and it's going to be a proud moment for me on Saturday night. But I just really believe that everything has come together at the right time for me.
Just for Ryan Burnett to sign a contract. He wants it to happen. I want it to happen. All the fans want it to happen. There's only one person stopping it from happening. They can come to the ring. Be my guest on the night. Come to the fight on the night, and we go straight into a room and do the deal.
Any more? I just by sort of point of order, Carl's saying it's fantastic to have Nonito's name on his record. I guess from the other perspective, you get the win that you believe you're going to get. You'd think to have Carl Frampton's name on your record would be pretty sensational as well, would it?
It's definitely the same. I mean, you have Carl, who's up in this division, and he still have that ability to fight everybody else. For me, everyone's writing me off as the old man. As you
I'm
said.
not. That's the thing. I'm not. Everyone else
Carl.
except me.
Yeah. Like you said, I was already a world champion when Carl was still an amateur. Makes me feel old, but I feel great. I think that's something that I've always been with me, is that personality that I have, and I keep rising. I keep rising because of that. But Carl, in that sense, it's the same feeling for me.
Any more? Yeah, Jeff.
Me.
With different voices.
I'm just kidding.
I've said this before. I think Nonito would be very good in a boy band.
I am a boy band. Yeah, I grew up that way,
I class myself more as a solo artist.
I gotta give him that. He was pretty good on it when I first, they said, "Oh, it got Carl singing," and when I heard it, I'm like, he's pretty good, So I've been singing and practicing for the opportunity to sing again with Carl. There you go.
No.
I'm ready to go. See, I'm ready to go.
I think Danny.
I am prepared.
More questions.
Any more? One final one for me. I mean, the fact that there's this big turnout for a press conference here today, once again in Belfast, it makes me realise that we're in a special fight city. What do you make of the atmosphere which you're going to be confronting when you get into the ring on Saturday night?
Well, so far I've had the best experience in Belfast. Everyone has been so warm, so kind. But as we know in life, there's always the two side of things, the negative and the positive, the masculine and the feminine. And I know that the people that I've been with, they've been so kind in terms of, hey, I'm a big Carl Frampton fan, but, welcome to Belfast, you know, in that way. And they've been really loyal. And it's a good, fresh, to see that how much they love Carl. And I know that in time of the fight, they'll be out there screaming for Carl, but I'm ready for that. And I've visualized that in training. Actually, the boos and the yelling and all that stuff has been visualized in training as I'm sparring, as I'm training. So that's part of one of the things that I've got accustomed to.
And I guess probably last word with Carl. It's the support which you get in this city is just phenomenal. Anybody who's never been to watch this guy in action in Belfast, you are missing out. It is a very, very special atmosphere, and you must be just so happy to be stepping up there in front of your public once more.
Yeah, look, I feel lucky and privileged and honoured that I have such a fan base and such an amazing support, and they're fanatical. They make a lot of noise, and I think for anyone coming into that atmosphere, you need to be mentally very strong, and I think that's what Nonito is. But talking about my performance, I've always said that it adds something to my game, and I believe that the crowd being on my side, we're talking about small margins at the very top end of sport, a few percentages here and there, and I think it adds something to my performance. And it's, in terms of arena sizes, it's one of the smallest, not one of the smallest, but it's in terms of the MGM and places like that, and the Barclays Centre now in New York and Madison Square Gardens. It's not a massive arena, but there isn't an atmosphere that can be created like it anywhere else in the world.
I look forward to it, and I think it's probably appropriate that we have a final word from Frank, who I'm sure after a few years doing this will be looking forward to it big time as well.
I am. I'm very excited about it, as I said earlier. It's going to be a great night, and what a class act these guys are. I mean, it's just fantastic to be involved with them, and a privilege to be promoting this event. And we look forward to seeing you all on Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you very much indeed.